Over the last 6 weeks, we've had a lot of assignments and research projects, but based on everything that we've learned, it's important to break it down into looking at how this is actually going to affect the future next months and next 6 weeks of what we're actually doing in class. So to start with, there's the usefulness of actually doing the research in the first place, and that comes threefold in the acronym OEP. And basically, it breaks down into organization, because researching helps you organize your thoughts and essentially, at later points in the year, put that into a tangible product. Next, it gives you more experience on what exactly the information is telling you and the background of it. And finally, it gives you more perspectives on a single issue. So right now, we're supposed to be taking real world issues, not practical ones. And based off of that, we can develop new and never before thought perspectives on how to solve that problem and how it's affecting everyone else. Right now, the project in my course of study is international relations. So I'm aiming to see how not only the US and other nations, but third world parties and supranational organizations help and aid in the creation of certain policies and certain projects, and how the US's role actually factors in to all of that. But there are certain obstacles in actually trying to find a problem in the first place. To begin with, my mentor, Ambassador Loftus, lives all the way in Massachusetts, in Boston, so it's going to be kind of difficult to actually talk with him in person. Thankfully though, we have communicable devices like our cell phones and Skype, but even then, contact isn't going to be as often as I would like it to be. And second, most commonly, is my homework, tests, and other extracurriculars. Now this is going to remain pretty static over the course of the year, but it's something that I'm going to have to deal with, hopefully through time efficiency and things like SMART goals. On the other hand though, I'm going to discover how to actually handle a real-world problem through policy. So right now, international relations is something that you can deal with on a theoretic scale. You can't really implement a theory, because meta-analyses, as I explained, are basically any kind of policy papers that someone can write and explaining how someone should deal with a specific crisis. So all in all, meta-analyses kind of have a recommended COA or course of action on what the US should do to solve a problem, or how the US should deal with a problem in the first place. Because through that process, not only will we discover how the US will be impacted by it, but how that region will be impacted by the United States. But basically, my product could basically be a meta-analysis or theory paper explaining certain aspects of what the US is facing and how the US can approach the issue holistically. Again though, my interview added up to a lot of what I was talking about before. So the reasons that my interview was especially helpful is because I want to grow up to be a corporal lawyer or an international lawyer, because I like foreign policy and at the same time I like Wall Street and business. So my interview with Mr. Jackson Rangel, who's actually an international lawyer, was extremely insightful, because it taught me a lot about what international lawyers do, how they deal with the corporate side of their works, and how exactly they discover policy papers and meta-analyses in their own research and in their own findings. And it was very, very insightful on how he worked. And also because now I know if I'm to do international law in the future, what to major in and what colleges are great for that kind of stuff, and specifically how international law helps you in the future. And obviously that work, a lot of work, is needed to actually become one. Also, my course of study that I'm thinking of doing is a study paper on either Bashar al-Assad's impacts of Syria, or looking at the Kurdish Peshmerga, which is an independent group backed in Iraq and northern Syria that's currently fighting ISIS. The reason I like this is because I like how the US has crafted its foreign policy, and while we have had our bads, we've also had our goods. And examining that on a holistic scale, once again, is what I really like to do, especially looking at it from a foreign aspect. In the end though, I just think that everything that we've come to learn and all the assignments that we've done are especially necessary to go and put forth into practicality and into use for our assignments in the future. Thank you.